Hello everybody, Mike Welch here from the Daily Racing Form with my colleague Dave Grening, who's in town to help me cover this week's Florida Derby card extravaganza, the 14 race card on Saturday. Dave also a bit of an expert on the whole 3-year-old picture, so we'll talk to him about the entire 3-year-old outlook down the road. But let's start with the Florida Derby, Dave. First of all, the biggest surprise, I guess, the 12-horse field, which could have some ramifications. I know you have some thoughts about the fact a lot of people making a big deal about Forte drawing post 11. You're not as worried about it as maybe I am, or maybe Todd is, or Iraq at this point. But just give your thoughts on that.
Yeah, look, Barbaro won it from post 10. Big Brown won it from post 12 in this configuration that we now have at Gulfstream Park. And comparatively speaking, we're looking at Forte versus the competition. He is Barbaro in this field. He is Big Brown in this field. I don't see a lot of talent in this field. I don't see a lot of depth. I don't see horses that are proven that they want to go 2 turns. So I think it makes for a lot of fodder. It makes for a lot of talk since they draw the race a week out. I don't think most of them is going to be the race and he gets beat. If he gets beat.
See, my thought is, though, that you can only control so much. You have the best jockey. You have the best horse. You have a Hall of Fame trainer. But you can't control what happens from when they open the gate until that stampede of 12 into the first turn. One other horse, not your own horse, does something silly, and the next thing you know, Forte could be 6 wide. Or my thinking is they're probably going to look to just take right back, angle over, and if they have to come from 8th or 9th, knowing they have the best horse, as long as they avoid a disaster on the first turn. That's my thought without talking strategy with Todd or Ira. But you still have to hold your breath a little bit if you're Todd Pletcher and you're Mike Rapoli when they run that first 1/8 of a mile.
My thinking is just the opposite of yours. I think you're going to let them run away from there and let whoever wants to go, and then fall into 4th or 5th and be 3 wide in the first turn.
If you're 3 wide, that's
right.
my worry. There's a lot of speed inside. There's some stretch out sprinters. There's some horses that really are committed to the lead. You could widen up 5 wide. Maybe that won't make a difference. You'll get a better sheet number anyway. And that's,
Look, Rocket Can was post 8 of 8 in the Holy Bull, and he was 4 wide every inch around the racetrack, and he won the race. And I don't think Rocket Can is, 3/4, like half a horse.
The only thing I'd say about that is the track was biased that day. The outside was better. The outside was also better, I found, the youth day. And Forte was at the best part of the racetrack. Did it make a difference? No, absolutely not. He was going to win no matter where he was that day. And like you said, you think he can win if he starts behind the starting gate
in this particular field. I just don't see a lot. I've asked you this before. Who's the second choice in the race? Is it Fort Bragg just because he has that California swagger, I guess? But he's not drawing much better. And in WNL, he's drawn even worse. So those are horses that look like they might take money, and I don't think they're drawing anybody.
I think Mage might wind up second choice. I know he's 10-1 in the morning line, but there's a lot of talk about Mage. Yeah, it was a very big effort in the Fountain. He rode slow. He got hung wide. Maybe being wide was okay that day, but it was still a big effort for a horse that's only run twice. What's your thoughts, though? Now he's still only run twice. This is his 3rd start. It is a full field. There's going to be a lot of traffic. Does that worry you at all with a horse like Mage? Do you think he'll be fine?
I think he's the wild card in terms of talent. How good is he? He was very good in the first race. He ran an incredible race in the Fountain of Youth. Interesting that Saez is on and Castellano's already got his off. Castellano going to Dale Romans' horse, Cyclone Mischief. But look, he's got a lot to prove because he's so lightly raced, but he just may have enough talent. I think he might be good enough to get involved, but I think he's a horse I would probably play against when we get to that last 16th of a mile, because again, I don't necessarily know that how many of these horses really want that 8th mile.
Yeah, that's the question too. A lot of them are most of them, they're all improving at the mile and 8th pretty much, but that will be a big factor. In the pace scenario, it should be a legit one. Saffie Joseph has 4 in here. What's your thoughts about that? We thought 2 maybe, 1 for sure, 2 maybe. West Coast Cowboy was a certainty, but now we wound up with 4 that kind of changed the complexion of the race. Are you okay with him putting 4 in here?
I am okay, especially when you enter a week out. There was 1 horse to beat, right? Forte. So you enter on a Saturday before the race. A lot of things could happen. It wasn't that long ago where he entered Math Wizard. He won the Pennsylvania Derby with Math Wizard. They entered 6 days out. Maximum security the day after entries were taken and scratched. And it was a 6-horse field with no true favorite in the race, and he won it at 31-1. Saffie did. It was his first the race that sort of put him on the map. So when you're entering a week out, you want to put some horses in there to see what might happen. 2 of those horses are recent purchases by C2 Racing. C2 Racing and Saffie won the Florida Derby last year with White Barrio. They liked the feeling. They're going to give it another shot. And one of those horses is a maiden who I actually think is quite interesting in here. That's Mr. Peaks, number 5. He was second last time out in his second career start to a 5-year-old. the a la carte. In March, we're running 3-year-olds against 5-year-olds. That's how desperate we are here to build dirt races at Gulfstream Park. But I thought it was a good effort. And he's by California Chrome. I think he can stretch out. I'm not saying he's going to win the race, but as a horse that might be a price and we want to throw underneath Forte or maybe in the tries, I think he's one of them.
And Safi already told me they're committing to the lead.
With that horse? Okay.
With that horse. Okay. So the overall picture for the 3-year-olds now, Forte obviously the leader. Todd is loaded. He has maybe 3 of the top 4. So he has to get through the Bluegrass with Captain Trice. Just what's your overall view of the 3-year-old division right now?
I think it's incomplete right now. Look, you got the Japanese contingent now. You have as many as 5 Japanese horses that want to run in the Kentucky Derby. And the way it is right now is the horse that was 3rd in the UAE Derby is guaranteed a spot over the horse that was 2nd because of the Japanese road to the Kentucky Derby. He was the points leader. The horse that was 2nd, he's got 40 points. I don't know if 40 points get you in. We obviously have to play out the rest of those prep races. There's 5 200-point races to go. We'll see how it swaggers out. One of the Japanese horses is going to run, not the one that was in the UAE Derby, but it's going to run in the San Diego Derby. So that you get another one. You've got a horse in Europe running this weekend in one of those races that he wants to run in the Kentucky Derby. There might be only 15 spots for North American-based 3-year-olds, and that's wild to me.
It's not as simple as it used to be with the points. You got 30 points, you used to get in, maybe even less than that. I know Danny Gargan hoping to get in with Dubonel. He's way on the outside. He was figuring originally 8 or 9 horse field. I could run 2nd in here, maybe 3rd in here is enough to get me in. Now he's got post 12 and 3rd might not do it.
3rd might not do it. Yeah, for him it might because he's got 10 points already. So 30 might, that 3rd gets him 30, 10 gets that plus the 10 gets him 40. Yeah, it could be iffy. So look, a lot of things play out over the next 8 days. You've got 2 races today. You got the one in Arkansas, or Saturday, I should say. You've got 3 next weekend, the Wood Memorial, the San Diego Derby, and the Bluegrass. So there's a lot of things to play out still. So it's still to be determined.
Let's look at the Oaks just briefly here. The co-feature on the card today. It is a major prep for the Kentucky Oaks. Field at 8. I know you kind of like a horse, and it's going to be a bit of a price. That's affirmative. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so as a 2-year-old, Grab Motion was more than content to run this filly in stakes races as a maiden. And she ran 2nd, got beaten neck by Julia Shining, who a lot of people like that horse. I know she ran a disappointing 3rd in the Suncoast Stakes in her 3-year-old debut, but she'll be among the choices next week for the Ashland. And then she came back and ran 3rd in the Busanda to a horse that's going to fly under the radar because she's been running in New York, a colt for Chad Brown. It's going to run the Gazelle next Saturday at Aqueduct. I think that filly's okay. Then he put blinkers on Affirmative Lady for her last start, and she sat up closer. She was closer to the pace, which was a modest pace, and then she split horses and was decisive enough in her move to go through. So 2nd time blinkers. She's already a winner, going a mile and 16th round at Gulfstream Park. I think she's live in here because I know she wants to go this far.
Well, the 2 favorites in here are going to almost assure a lively pace. That's Miracle and Darth Vader. The one thing we know for sure in this race, not who's going to win it. We know Darth Vader won't be 46-1 this week, but she was just incredible that day. She obviously ran on the better part of the racetrack outside, but she drew off like she might have won from any part of the track. She ran to her works going into the race, and I thought she's worked just as well coming out of the race. And she's got that outside post. It remains to be seen how the track is playing here on Saturday. But like I said, I think both on Holy Bull Day and Founding Youth Day, you want her to be as far out from the rail as possible. If that's the case again, Darth Vader's in the right spot, but she's going to have to chase Miracle for Todd Pletcher. And just talk about Miracle, the effort in the Rachel Alexander.
I thought the effort of Rachel Alexander was very good for Miracle. It was first time 2 turns, first time for Pletcher, first time off a layoff, first time outside of New York Red Company, and she ran. She fought pretty mischievous, down to the wire there. Pretty mischievous won by 3/4 of a length. Pretty mischievous came back and ran 2nd, I believe, in that last week's Fairgrounds Oaks to a very promising filly of Norm Cassie's. I thought that was a solid effort for first off the bench, and I could see her, getting out there and them having to get by her again. And look, Darth Vader. The thing about Darth Vader is that was a 1-turn mile. This is a 2-turn mile and 16th. Last time she ran 2-turn mile and 16th was right here at Gulfstream Park. Got beat 11 lengths by Atomically, who's back in this field as well. 2nd time starter for Todd Pletcher off a 3rd, kind of a dull 3rd in my opinion, and the forward gal. But she has a win going a mile and 16th here. So she's going to be in the mix too, but I'm going to stay with the Affirmative Lady. I think sort of a newcomer to the state, back into the Florida Stakes program?
Obviously, the 2 turns is a question mark. Darth Vader, that was a less seasoned Darth Vader at the time.
Right.
So we'll see. A lot of questions to be answered, both the Philly division and the Colt division, and we'll know a lot more at the end of the day Saturday. So keep it right here at DRF.com, though. The best coverage of this weekend's, not only this weekend's Florida Derby and Oaks preps, but all the preps leading up to Kentucky Derby. And don't forget the DRF Clocker report here. We have a huge file. It's going to be available Thursday afternoon, and I don't think you want to miss this. A lot of information regarding these contenders that are coming into these major races. A great card here Saturday, so keep it right here at DRF.com.